Welcome to Second Breakfast. I'm Musty Hobbit, and I am here to talk today about early adoption and why I don't do it anymore. We'll get to that in just 1 second here. I want to quickly go over some of the things that I've been doing over the past week. To start, last Friday, we went to another Iowa baseball game. It was their last big homestand of the weekend before the playoffs, the Big Ten championship and all that happened. So went and saw my neighbor's son pitched again, got the win, 7 strong innings. He did a great job. We had our garage sale on Saturday. So me and some friends had, there were I think 5 families involved in this garage sale, and all in all it was a very productive weekend. I think we as a family did a good job. However, I was very surprised that there was only one person who asked me the question. The question being, do you have any other video game stuff? And there were really no sharks. There was nobody trying to undercut my prices or trying to talk me down or trying to do, I'll take all of this, I'll give you $50 type of situation. None of that. I did sell some things. I was surprised that there was nobody there. So whether that bodes well for me come garage sale season or not, we shall see. Maybe it's just early. Maybe there was more going on, but anyways, we'll look forward to garage sale season now that I've gotten mine out of the way. And then Saturday night, we had some friends who were back. They live in Minneapolis, but their family lives in the area, so we got to see them, which was great. So overly productive weekend. It meant that there wasn't a whole lot of time for gaming, so I have been playing Perfect Dark. I've been playing co-op with P1. We're getting close to finishing that. We have a couple levels left. Played some Overwatch. There's an event coming. They announced it today. There will be an event coming on Tuesday the 23rd. So that is pretty exciting. It's their anniversary event. So we're looking forward to that. And I started putting more time into Zelda. I mentioned that last week. I actually got 2 of the last 3 towers I needed to access. I got those unlocked, and then I'm moving toward my second beast. To those of you who played, you would understand what I'm talking about. To those who haven't, why not? I also want to point out, before we get on to our main topic, new shirt. I got this in a giveaway from Jared at Retro Evolutions. He has a YouTube channel. He does mod work for consoles. He also takes challenges, and I'm coming up with an idea for him that I think might be interesting. But go check out his channel. He's got some interesting stuff going on, including consoleizing a PSP into a PS2 Slim. Envision that for a second and go check out his videos. So thank you, Jared. The shirt looks great. Fabric's fantastic. So excellent. Good on you. So let's get into the main topic of the evening. I want to talk about my shift in behavior to no longer being a early adopter on consoles. Historically, and by historically I mean in my adult life, I have always wanted the newest and the best thing out there. And for the most part, this was attainable, this was doable with some planning. The big game system launches were the Wii, the Xbox 360, the PS3 to a lesser extent for me, just because I still have, to this day, have yet to have played a PS3. And then the most recent round, including the Switch. Now, I was a day one buy on the 360. I was a day one attempt to buy for the Wii. And I was a day one buy for the Xbox One. And I will say that through the experience, whether that, and I'm trying not to associate this to solely Microsoft, but the day one purchase for me has lost its luster. There is not the same kind of enthusiasm out of me for consoles now, at least for the moment, than there were in the past. I recall the day that the 360 got announced, when they did the whole reveal. I was at my GameStop that afternoon and getting my money, starting to put my money down. I put down the minimum, and I was going to start putting away like $50 a paycheck to get there and get as much as I could game-wise by launch day. Come to find, that with that launch day, my store had been allocated not enough to get even me on day one. So I actually had to wait 3 additional weeks before I could get my Xbox 360. Which was the day that they told me that they had it. I think I took an impromptu lunch and left and got it, and because I didn't want to risk them giving it to somebody else. So when they announced the Xbox One, the same kind of feelings were there, right? I wanted it. I was excited to see what they were doing. I felt like they were moving in some interesting directions, and so I wanted that day one edition. And so I made a point of getting to GameStop as soon as I could, getting the money down, and for the most part, that day one experience was really weak. Whether that was weak because my store was just not all that enthusiastic about it. I think that they had that, and there was that and a couple other things coming out at the same exact day, and I think it was just kind of a hectic day, but everyone who was there just didn't seem overly excited. A lot of times there's these midnight releases and people are all very hyped and excited, and that wasn't the case here. It was kind of drab. All the lights in the mall were off, except for the lights within GameStop, and it was just everyone was just kind of in line. No one was really talking to each other. So I had decided that I was going to move away from doing day one purchases, with the Xbox One being the last one. And here's a couple of reasons why. One, when I migrated to the Xbox One, my friends that had the 360, my Halo group, a lot of the people that I interacted with on a regular basis didn't also move. And instantly that became a sort of fractured friendship between those people. I couldn't play the games that they were playing. The messaging systems didn't interact with each other. And suddenly I was out on an island playing Rise and Forza 5 and Peggle 2. And that was about it. Single player games. There was not a lot of multiplayer right out the gate, and a lot of those people didn't move over for that exact reason. I also, the first year of both the Xbox One and the PS4, even though I don't have a PS4, but that first year, game-wise, there wasn't a lot out there. The games that were there were a lot of remasters and or remakes, or just up-reses of games that we had already gotten, but we weren't getting a lot of new stuff. So that first year was not a really good justification for anyone to have that console. To a similar extent, the Switch right now is kind of in that same boat, but they're going to get there, we hope, soon enough. I think that one of the bigger impacts is my son. So the Xbox One came out in the end of 2013. My son was born in the beginning of 2014, and instantly a lot of my priorities got shifted. Being able to play every game on the day it came out suddenly was not all that important. It was not something that I've feared getting spoiled, because I just didn't have time to read about them. And that's changed. As he's gotten older, he's coming up on 3.5 pretty soon here. Things are starting to open up. I'm playing more games. The major impacts there are, what do you do with your time? What do you do with your expendable income? And when your expendable income goes away, day one purchases get really hard. So where am I going from here? I've effectively told myself, you're not going to buy a console on day one. And I'm going to stick to that as long as I can, unless something comes along that absolutely justifies having it and not waiting for either a future console iteration or something else like that. With E3 coming up, and with with the announcement of a new Xbox console, we'll see how this all works out. There is a chance that I may go back on what I'm saying if whatever Scorpio is actually in my wheelhouse. But there's also the Switch. I think we're still within the launch window as far as I'm concerned for the Switch, and we'll see. Maybe that's a purchase this year. I don't know yet. I really need to see some games. I think that's the big thing. That a virtual console and some ports of games that I can play on other consoles aren't going to get me there yet. So that's just sort of my thought on early adoption, why it's not for me anymore, and what it could do to get me back. Are you an early adopter? Do you want and have to have the newest console every single time it comes out? Please leave me a comment. I'm interested to see what motivates you to be a day one adopter or not. So let's have a conversation. Aside from that, again, Second Breakfast comes out every Thursday, and I am working on perfecting this whole thing. So any feedback, please leave it in the comments, or feel free to drop me a message on any of my social media links, and I welcome that input. But aside from that, again, I have been Musty. Take care of yourself. Be good to each other. Bye.